Stephanie, welcome to the Life of KG. How are you?
I'm awesome. Just starting my morning here in Canada, and I had a full day of video shooting yesterday, so I'm still kind of like recovering from that, a little bit tired, but like feeling really good. It's a beautiful day here.
Oh, I love that. Was your filming all for content creation or?
Yeah, for my course, I'm redoing it like from start to finish. So it's a huge job, and like some of it requires like direct to camera filming. So I had like a film crew, and like I was like talking for 5 hours, reading a teleprompter. So it's very tiring, like taxing mentally.
Oh, I bet you had a good night's sleep then.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to start with my quick fire questions that you're
Yeah.
obviously unaware of. So let's see how we get on.
Okay.
So beauty treatment or hair treatment?
Hair treatment. Yeah, I'm all about like I don't really, funny enough, even though I work with like beauty professionals, I don't really do like facials or anything like that. Like I love having nice hair. So
Perfect. Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram,
A beach or pool?
beach.
I love the beach.
Yeah,
And podcast or a book?
book.
Ah, lovely. So, welcome. Can you just introduce yourself and tell us all exactly what you do?
Yeah, so I am Canadian. I live in Ottawa, Canada. I'm moving to Italy at the end of this month, at the end of July, which is crazy. My fiance is Italian, and we're moving there into like his little village there. So yeah, we're kind of like settling down, and it's awesome that I work online, so because I can do it anywhere in the world, which is so I feel so lucky to be able to do that. So I help independent beauty professionals and salon owners and anyone in the beauty space to use Facebook and Instagram ads that actually build their appointment book and make them money. I love using Facebook and Instagram ads in my own business. I've been using them for years and years and years. And I realized that a lot of people in the beauty industry don't really know how to use them. I see them using them, but sometimes they're a waste of money, or sometimes, maybe they have a small Instagram following and they want to be able to reach more people. There's so many good reasons to do them, but they have to be done right. So I teach them how to actually use advertising properly to really connect with the right kind of clients and reach whatever kind of goals that they have in their business.
I absolutely love that. And I can't wait to dive in a little bit more into that later on, because I think a lot of the audience right now that will be listening, like, don't do ads at all. So yeah, this is going to be perfect for them.
Oh yeah. It's a great like place to start too. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. It can be super simple.
Oh, amazing. So obviously you specialize in the beauty space. Where did that passion come from? Are you from the industry?
No, actually, it's so funny because a lot of people assume that I was like a hairdresser, an esthetician, or something like that. No, never. And that used to be like a really a sore point for me. Like I was super embarrassed and ashamed about it because I was working with all beauty pros, and I felt like, but I'm not part of this world. But after years now, I really feel a lot more included and a lot more comfortable and confident in my place here. My background comes from marketing, actually. I was a marketing director for a couple different tech companies here. I studied marketing in university, and then I just happened to like fall into a really good career in marketing right out of uni. And after that, I quit my job and moved to Italy because I'd been doing long distance with my boyfriend for years. And I was like, no, it's time for me to move to Italy. So I quit my job, and I had no idea what I was doing for work. I ended up making my own job. And after a few different like twists and turns, I ended up having a marketing agency. So working with small businesses and doing their marketing for them with all of those years of really great marketing experience I had. So I did like websites and branding and social media and email and advertising. And I ended up working mostly with salons and spas. Like that kind of ended up being a niche for me. And I loved it. Like I realized that like it's such a fun industry to be in. So many cool, like interesting people, working with a lot of female owners, which is just like so cool to have like so much, like work with so many like women owned businesses. And it's just such a fun space to be in. So I'm really glad that I ended up here.
I love that. So at the moment, with obviously your business, how did you get into then launching your own business?
Launching my own business. Well, like I said, like when I moved to Italy, I was like, I had no idea what I was doing. I thought I was going to be able to get a job with a company as the marketing director, and it didn't end up that way. So I started my own company, and it had nothing to do with what I'm doing now. It was in the fitness space, and I got some funding from like a really big investor, and had like a tech product and everything. It didn't end up going the way that I wanted to, so I pivoted. I was like, I really love marketing. And that's where I started my marketing agency. I did that for a few years. And then a few years ago, I kind of burnt out working one-to-one with clients. Like when you're doing the marketing for people, sometimes the budgets are low. You're working with like smaller businesses who don't have a big budget, but they have really big expectations of what they want you to achieve. They're like, I want to have like all this foot traffic, and I want to have, a full appointment book, and I want to have this and I want to have that. And I'm like, but you're not paying very much. And so I can only give you a certain amount of services. And I had kind of just had a string of bad clients who had really big expectations, but really low budgets. And I kind of burnt out from that. So that's why in my business now, I still am in the beauty industry. I still absolutely love it. But instead of doing the marketing for them, I teach it. It's so much more powerful when you can do your own marketing.
So would you still work with clients one-to-one to teach them how to do the marketing, or is it mainly group coaching that you do?
No, I don't work one-to-one anymore. I realized that like I'm the type of person where I bite off more than I can chew, as in like I love to like over guarantee, like over deliver. I have really bad boundaries. I actually like it better in the program that I have. I've got hundreds of students in it, and everyone gets all the same tools to be able to do their marketing and their ads themselves. And then we have group coaching on Mondays, and that's where like I can answer questions, and we've got coaches in our program, but it's always empowering people. It's always saying like, you can do this on your own. Like you can do your own advertising. We're going to give you the tools. We're going to give you all the support, but it's in your hands kind of thing.
I love that.
Yeah.
So you help gens become Gracies. Mm-hmm. People listening are going to be like, Kate, what the hell are you talking about? Can you explain what that means for us?
Yeah. So the gens of the beauty industry are those people who, and if this is you, like this is not meant in a derogatory way at all, but the gens of the beauty industry are the ones who are like burning themselves out, trying to do everything to build their business. They're, especially in the marketing area, they're like, they think that the more that they post on Instagram, the more clients will find them. They're trying out Groupon, and they're trying out Yelp, and they're doing all sorts of things for their website. They're putting out a ton of content. They're maybe hitting the streets, talking to people, in the grocery store. They're pretty much, maybe they've hired a marketing company. They're trying like everything, and they kind of feel like it's not really working, and they're putting in a ton of effort to promote themselves, and it's not paying off kind of thing. And they're like, oh, like, how does this actually work? So that would be a gen. I know a lot of gens. I have a lot of students who like join my program and start out with advertising being gens, and they're like, I just can't do this anymore. I feel like all this work that I'm putting into marketing myself is not paying off, and I want to know like where the clients are, how do I meet them? And then I help them become the Gracies, which is simplicity. And honestly, I take that from my own business where I am now. I don't do a ton of things to promote my business. The number one thing that I do is Facebook and Instagram ads. I am on Instagram maybe once a week, and I haven't posted on there in like weeks. I do not do it. Like I love doing podcast interviews like this, but it's fun for me. It's like a little extra. It's not stress. It's not like I feel like I constantly need to push it out. So I have like one single place that I build my business, and I have a lot of other things. Like I use email marketing and all of that. But like the way that people find me and get into my world is through Facebook and Instagram ads, and it's automated. It runs in the background. So much easier than like doing all those different things that like a gen would do.
That's literally music to my ears, because my clients are always like, I'm not posting enough, or they post every single day and completely getting burnt out. And I'm like, oh yeah, you don't have to post every single day, surely not. And they get themselves in the right state about it. So would you say that it's not really that important to be like as consistent with your posting? Like, has everything come down to ads for you?
Well, it depends. Like, I mean, there's always pros and cons. There's no magic bullet, right? Like, there's no perfect way to promote yourself. Some people love being on Instagram. Like, I have a friend in the beauty industry. She's like a coach, and she coaches like permanent makeup artists and microbladers, and she posts like 3 times a day on Instagram. She does reels, like she batches her reels. She'll batch 24 reels in one day, once a week. And she's prolific and she loves it. And that's her strategy. She doesn't really do advertising. And you know what? All power to her. Her name's Sheila. All power to her. I hate Instagram. At the beginning, when you said like Facebook or Instagram, I was thinking like, well, Instagram, because that's where I'm more often, but I do not enjoy Instagram. I find it really tough mentally. I don't like the stress of posting, all of that. And so advertising works really well for me. I don't have to show up all the time. It just kind of like refers people to me and tells people about me. And I get leads and sales through Facebook and Instagram ads without having to show up all the time.
Oh my God, I think we would all love that.
Yeah.
It's so stressful just trying to think of content constantly. It's really, really draining.
Yeah, absolutely. And we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and we think that our Instagram page is a reflection of how successful we are or who we are. And you also feel nowadays that you have to be like yourself, and you have to be vulnerable, and you have to like show up as yourself. And I agree with that, but I think that you should never push your own boundaries of what you're comfortable with, and you should never be stressing yourself out and burning yourself out. If something doesn't feel right, maybe it's just not the place that you should be focusing on. And so yeah, I do the bare minimum on Instagram, but I run a lot of ads. The downside there is that there is a cost to that. I mean, if you just do organic posting on Instagram, it's free, which is why my friend Sheila and lots of other people like love it, because they enjoy being on there. It doesn't cost them anything. Advertising costs money, but when it's done right, you spend a little bit of money and you get a lot of money back. So it can be a really good return on investment if you do it right.
Because how much would you recommend to spend on ads? Because people do assume it's going to cost a fortune.
Yeah. So I personally, because I've been doing this for years and years, and I have a really good sales funnel set up, I spend about $100 a day on ads, but that took me a long time to get there. My students who are just starting out and who just maybe they want to build, like maybe this month their goal is to book like 20 new clients, and they're starting out small. I recommend that you spend between $5 and $10 a day on ads, and that's a really good place to start. You'll get a lot of good data. If your ads are doing well and they're referring clients to you, double that, spend $20 a day, and you'll get, double the amount of money back. So yeah, you can start out really small and have really good success too.
And you have to look at it like you're going to get a return if it's done properly, right? Like if you might be spending money out, people might be thinking $10 a day, that's like so much over a period of a week. But if that gains you clients, then you're going to be making that back and more.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I don't recommend that you keep running ads that aren't making you money, which is one of the mistakes I see all the time. It's like people will be doing ads and they'll be like, oh, it's, I just want to get my name out there. But before they know it, a month has passed. They've spent $200 on ads, and they don't really know if that $200 has been well invested. They feel like maybe they got an appointment from it, but they're not sure. The way that I recommend that you run ads is that you watch your numbers so carefully, and you really have a good grasp of, okay, this is how much I'm spending. This is how many leads I've gotten. This is how many people have booked with me. And this is how much money I'm making. And when it's done that way, you feel confident spending money because you know how much you're making back.
I was watching it was a live, I think it was on Instagram the other day, and it was all about ads, and it was a company that like specialized in ads or whatnot. Again, similar in our industry, but there was quite a lot of fear around being blocked really easy.
Oh,
do you find that, or should we just let that fear go? Because I was like, oh my God, I think I'm a bit scared to do ads. What if we get blocked?
yeah, no, it is a legitimate point. Like it is possible to have your ad account like blocked or turned off or something like that. but it's not super common. So there's two different levels. One is just like having your ads rejected. And that just means like, hey, your ad doesn't follow our rules. Facebook will be like, yeah, you're breaking a few rules. If you change these things and resubmit it, it'll probably get accepted. And I see that happening with like ads that, like if you do facials or aesthetic services and you like do a close-up of someone with acne and you're like, don't you hate having acne or like, wrinkles? Like, don't you hate feeling old? And then, you show like a before and after and dramatic. Those kind of ads tend to get rejected. They actually have like a computer, and it's not even a person that looks at your ads. It's a computer. It's an algorithm, and they don't want you setting unrealistic body standards. They don't want you doing unrealistic before and afters that could be digitally edited, even though they're not. And they don't want you making people feel bad about themselves. So there's certain things that will get your ad rejected. For hair, it's usually not. It's unless you're like promoting like hair loss services, that's one that they're quite sensitive about. But if you're just like doing like balayage and like, cut and color and those kind of things, usually your ads will get approved. But if you get your ads rejected a few times, your ad account might actually be suspended and turned off. And that does happen, unfortunately, occasionally. But what I would say to make sure that that doesn't happen is like prime your ad account. Like just run some really simple, basic ads where you're not really promising anything big. Maybe it's just like some pictures of what you do or a picture of you introducing yourself. Spend like $10 on that. That's called priming your ad account. And what that means is like you're showing Facebook and Instagram like, hey, I'm spending money on your platform. I have really like easy, innocuous ads, like as in like they're not about anything, dramatic or anything like that. And then after that, you can run some more ads that are, maybe more goal oriented. But long story short, yes, it does happen, but it's not that common.
Okay, then that's good to know. And I guess at the moment as well, like with algorithms changing, well, they're constantly changing, right? And everyone's trying to beat the algorithm all the time. And it's really frustrating when people are posting and it's the same people liking their post, commenting on their post, or they might spend ages creating reels and then just get like minimal views, especially when you do a really good reel and think, this is going to go viral.
I know, it's heartbreaking.
It's so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Do you recommend anything to like be seen a little bit more or to stop this from happening?
You mean like with ads or just like on our regular feeds?
On a regular feed.
So I'm not like, I definitely wouldn't call myself like an expert about Instagram, but one thing that I have noticed is that consistency does work. So what I've done in the past is I just like record, because like I said, I don't love spending time on Instagram. So I find that reels get the most views and the most engagement these days. So like what I've done is I'll just like save a bunch of reel ideas on Instagram, and then I'll do like a filming day where I film like 7 reels. And then instead of doing what my friend Sheila does, which is like post 3 a day, I'll just like post 1 a week. So I have 7 weeks of content there. And that works really well for me. And I think that like staying consistent definitely does help. And with reels, I find that if you do like a reel with like some movement or like a transition near the beginning, it catches people's attention. They watch it more. And the more people that watch it, the more reach you'll get for your posts.
I think it's something like 3 or 4 seconds, isn't it? That you have to like try and
Capture
catch our
interest.
attention. Yeah. So it does take a lot of trial and error, but batching content, that's what we do. Like we all have content days and we just batch it all, and then like, right, that's 1 to 2 months worth of content. I now don't have to do anything.
Exactly.
For a couple
it makes
of
it
months.
so much easier. You don't have to be constantly thinking like, oh my gosh, like this stress and pressure of, oh, I haven't published in a while, I don't know what to post. You just like do it all at once, and it just like takes the headache out of it.
Would you say there's a magic formula to having ads working? Because we've obviously like there's the whole boost button and people will boost ads and they're not working. Like what tips can you give on that?
Yeah, so there absolutely is a magic formula actually. So I actually have I'm just going to pull up my screen here because I actually have something called the booked out ads formula. And it is the steps that you need to do to create a really good ad. So I'll quickly go through them if that's okay with you.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's 4 steps in the booked out ads formula. And each of them is really, really essential for creating ads that make you money, essentially. Like, bottom line is we want to spend money on ads and make sure that it's like making us back like 3 to 10 times what we're spending. So if we're spending $100, we want to make back $300 to $1,000. I've had students do even more than that. I've done more than that before, but essentially like that's our kind of goal. So these are the 4 steps. Step number 1 of the booked out ads formula is an irresistible offer. When you're deciding what to advertise, don't just like post a picture of your hair and be like, hey, I do hair, now accepting new clients. No, you need a very specific offer. So say you do lashes and you do lash extensions, you want to create an offer around your lash extensions. So maybe that is like a full like volume set. And then you also want to combine that with maybe like a brow shaping and tint or something like that. So creating a package, putting some special pricing and bonuses and upgrades around it. I don't recommend that you discount your primary services, like starting to discount your lash extensions, but I do recommend creating a special offer by adding on some extras. I've had students add on things like under eye patches or like, at home products that people can take home, or like upgrades to, like I said, like some brow services. So irresistible offer is the foundation of your ad. If you don't have an irresistible offer, if it's nothing exciting that people are like, oh my gosh, I need this now, then the rest of your ad will fall apart, because you really need people to be like, I need this now. The 2 secret ingredients that I put into an irresistible offer are urgency and scarcity. So urgency meaning this is only available until this date, and that is firm. So meaning that when people see it, they're like, oh my gosh, this is like only available until July 30th. She doesn't normally do this. I need to do it now. And then scarcity is I only have a few of these available. So I only have, 10 spots in my appointment book for this. Those are the 2 things that get people like really excited about it. So irresistible offer is step 1. Step 2 is called the instant attractor video. So this is a 60-second video where you're sharing more about you, you're introducing yourself, you're introducing your business, you're visually showing in a really attractive way what you do. People love to see, like if you're doing lashes, people love to see like the before and afters. They love to see the client transformations. Instant attractor video is so much more it's just more attractive than a photo. We really get to see the inside of your business and really build that trust, that instant trust with you, even if we don't know you, because you're advertising to new people. You want to really build instant trust. So that's step number 2. Step number 3, I call it the simple ad launch. So instead of just like boosting, so this is where you actually like publish your ad. So instead of boosting it on Instagram or on Facebook, we use a tool called the Facebook Ads Manager. And we use this to actually get results. Instead of getting like engagement and likes and comments, we set up an ad that's optimized to get leads. So usually through like Facebook Messenger or Instagram DMs. And we set up our ad so it's targeted to the right people, it has the proper budget, and it's optimized. And then the final step of the booked out ads formula, step number 4, is results and scale. So this is where the numbers come in. This is where you start making decisions of like, okay, what's happened to my ad in the first week since I launched it? How many people have seen it? What kind of results am I getting? Is this working? Am I getting a return on investment and ROI for the money I'm spending? If it's working, great, you scale, you put a bit more money into it, you see what happens. If it's not yet, that's not the end. This is where the tweaking comes in. This is where if you feel like you're not getting those results yet, it's time to test out different visuals, test out different captions. The first ad will sometimes do great, but sometimes it won't. And I personally, when I run ads, I do lots of, I test out lots of different headlines and captions, and I test out Instagram stories ads versus like Instagram Reels ads. And that's where like the real results come in, is when you start testing. So those are the 4 steps in the booked out ads formula, and they will be game changers. If you've ever like tried ads and boosted posts and not been able to get results, or if you've never done ads before, like if you follow those 4 steps, you'll find the success that you want.
That's absolutely incredible. Thank you. Like, I didn't even think about putting a 60-second video up, like not at all. So that's really cool to know.
Oh yeah, video is a game changer. Like, definitely I recommend that you test out different things. So I'm never going to say like don't use a photo, but your first thing that you should test is a video, and then afterwards you can test like slideshows and carousels and photos and that kind of thing.
It's really going to be about trial and error, isn't it? And just don't put one ad up and be like, oh, that didn't work, and then give up and say ads are rubbish. I hear that all the time. And I'm like,
no, you got to test.
No, they're not. Yeah,
you really got to test. It takes, and then, like I said, like there's no magic bullet. If I knew exactly like the exact ad that was going to work for every single person, and there was just like a total like exact formula that you could follow of what your ad should look like and say, I would be like, you know, a multi-billionaire, because I could help. But every business is different, and your business is different, and the services that you're advertising are different. So I have the formula and the experience and the templates and the ideas and all of that. But if your ad, sometimes the ad that does really well is a surprise, and like you'll be like, this is so simple, why are people really catching on to this? You just never really know what's going to work. So that's why you look at the numbers, you test out different things, and then that's where you're going to see the results.
Do you do any other marketing other than ads? Like, what else would you say to dip into?
Yeah, so that's the only thing that I teach. So I have a program called the Ad Lab, where I actually, work with students on their ads, because that's like so powerful. For myself and for my students that I'm trying to get them to look at more is email marketing. That's the other branch of my business. I personally have more than 20,000 email subscribers that I email every single week. Anytime I have something to promote or sell, I send it to my email list. Like, so anyone that becomes a lead through my ads is added to my email list. And some of them will buy, and that's great. A lot of them won't, and that's okay too. But that doesn't mean that they won't eventually buy. So I have an email list that I nurture, that I communicate with. I email them weekly. I send them lots of great content. And then whenever they're ready, I have them there on my list. So I don't let them slip through my fingers. I maintain that connection with them. I make them feel like they're part of a community. And then that's the other side of marketing that a lot of people miss out on.
We're absolutely huge when it comes to email marketing, like, and we're always banging on about it. You need to have an email list, you need to be creating a community, you need to be reaching out, because some people might not be ready like just yet, but every time you're emailing them weekly, it's going in, they're thinking about it, and then one day they'll be ready, you'll automatically come to their mind. And I guess also with the ads, you can do ads and it can bring you the business, but you also need to be making sure you're pulling their data right and keeping their data, because I guess people just forget that part.
Yeah, absolutely. So like if you can get people's email addresses, and then, if they're ready to book an appointment, amazing. But if they're not, add them to your email list and make sure to like communicate with them regularly.
Definitely. You've got free teaching that we can put on the notes. I watched it back when I contacted you before, and it's really, really good. So
awesome.
I'll put that in the show notes so people can watch that and then get in touch with you if they want more information. Where is it that people can connect?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram. You can find me at sunnystorm.marketing. That's when I had a marketing agency, that was the name of it. I'm kind of trying to move away from that name and more towards Stephaine Michell, but you can find me on Instagram there. My website is sunnystorm.marketing. So instead of .com, it's .marketing. And then if you want to watch my free training to help you like get acquainted with ads and like take your first steps and all of that, I guess you're going to put a link in the show notes so that people can join it.
Definitely. Amazing. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show and having some
Thank
more
you.
insights on ads. So thank you so much for giving us that information. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was so fun. I really enjoyed your questions and chatting with you. So thank you for having me on.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone.